Yo guys, this is for entertainment purposes only. Today we got TikToks here recently that have gone viral that give me goosebumps. Let's get into it.
We want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
Rockets don't have brakes. It literally stopped. All of that angular momentum from the rotation of the rocket and the linear momentum from flying up just stopped. No, it had to have hit something.
It's a long fly ball going back, and the ball shatters the sky, bringing the ocean itself down into the stadium. Oh, Simpson just broke this dream's reality wide open.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
Why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented.
The 10-second rule. Check this out. Here is how Bitcoin and Ethereum get destroyed. In the European Union, they're going to mandate a maximum 10-second rule. If your crypto don't move that fast, then oops, bye-bye birdie. Now, who's involved in this? Well, we got Qatar Bank, Ripple partner. Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, Ripple partner. We see down here, NPCI Payments of India, Ripple partner. Are you seeing a pattern? Oh, the clearinghouse, Ripple partner. Here's your evidence right here. Ripple and Qatar National Bank partnerships. Bank of Abu Dhabi with Ripple. Google-backed Ripple in talks with the Indian bank right there.
So Ripple's a problem.
Number one bank, HDFC, number one bank in India. India's largest private bank is Ripple partner. There you go.
I'm the only one that thinks Usher looks a bit off.
No, he looks
and
off.
It's not black fingernail polish, and it's not the rose dripping red droplets from its petals. You look quite serious, but not just that. You have an interesting set. You have an interesting choice of jewelry, Usher. Bedazzled yourself in it, and I love the blood red gemstone underneath the O.
How did he get?
That explains it. Hey, Oprah. None of you are informed of what's going on with Usher and Diddy and Bieber. Watch Jaguar Wright's interviews, and they're very informative. But where have I seen this before? Oh, that's right. I think the Pope has one as well as many others, and it's quite interesting who all owns one or was gifted one. You know what I mean? And I'm starting to feel as if I'm coming down with that new disease, that new disorder where you can see demons in people, because I see nothing there but darkness and black. Your empires are crumbling around you. The world is finding out, and you won't be worshipped for much longer.
Yo, I keep hearing about this, this Usher stuff. If that really is demonic and maybe they're killing the real Usher, making him into a clone, we need to find out where this clone base is established at. We need to stop this shit, yo. But then again, this is Lucifer we're probably dealing with. Lucifer himself. That is creepy. And it seems like they only attack celebrities. Like, once you make it to that stage, whether it's Hollywood, music, or whatever in the hell you're doing, and you actually sell your soul, somehow Lucifer gets a hold of you and makes you into a clone. That's what it seems like.
Recently predicted 3 major events that have already happened in 2024. First, they foresaw the Balenciaga show, followed by the Baltimore Bridge collapse. The third prediction is really scary, so make sure to watch until the end to keep your family safe. First, they predicted the Balenciaga show. You can see Sherry and Terry wearing black dresses identical to those in the actual Balenciaga show, and there are Kim Kardashian and Kanye West costumes. We can't forget that Homer and Marge Simpson wore the exact same outfits in the show as they did in the series. Is it a coincidence? Nobody knows. The second prediction is really spooky. spooky. It's about the Baltimore Bridge collapse. On March 26, 2024, at 1:28 a.m., the Baltimore Bridge collapsed after the container ship Dolly struck one of its piers. This event also occurred in an episode of The Simpsons where the city's bridge collapses with the same details. Is it a coincidence? Nobody knows. For the last predictions, comment with part 2 for the craziest episode.
The craziest story.
I mean, I know there's a lot of Simpsons episodes, like thousands, but it's just crazy to me how accurate they are. Like, before our reality happens, in their episodes, it's like right before something happens in our world. Like, I just find that creepy as fuck.
Fake lab-grown meat elsewhere. We're not doing that in the state of Florida.
That's the message behind the bill Governor DeSantis signed Wednesday. It takes aim at meat grown by scientists in a lab, making it a crime to manufacture or sell cultivated meat in Florida.
What they want to say is this is the same as raising cattle and doing it naturally, then there's no reason that you have this industry. So it is designed to represent a threat to agriculture as we know it.
And supporters say the new law offers protections to Florida's cattle industry.
It's never been more important than today to protect Florida's farmers and ranchers, and that's what this legislation does.
But opponents say concerns about lab-grown meat are overblown. Federal regulators have already said some products are safe and ready to eat after receiving FDA approval last year, a point made by cultivated meat industry members during the legislative session.
Cultivated meat is safe, period. We make our chicken with a safe process in a safe environment, and USDA inspectors are on site during operations at all times, from beginning to end.
Others have argued this law threatens the free market and is too short-sighted.
Pure nutrition shake, completely filled with trash. Number one doctor recommended brand. Only in this country would that be the case. It's really important to disregard the sides and always go for the ingredients. Vanilla, natural and artificial flavor. There is no vanilla in here. Just corn syrup, canola oil, soy protein, garbage, disgusting. All these vitamins and minerals in here are synthetic and they're basically BS. Chat live with a registered dietitian about nutrition. Why? So they can feed me more lies? I'm tired of companies like this promoting products that seem healthy but they're not. As a meal replacement when there is no replacement for real food. If you want complete nutrition, eat real foods. So I'm sure you should stay away from Ensure. Follow the channel for more food shopping tips.
Y'all ready?
Yo, I be drinking them Ensures like a mug. I didn't know about that. I need to do my research, make sure that's real.
Let's talk about it. If Satan could talk angels out of heaven, he could talk you into hell. Be mindful of the voices you listen to. Or as we would call it, these intrusive thoughts.
Man.
People don't understand that a lot of these thoughts that you think is your thoughts is really not your thoughts. Everybody has angels and demons that they was assigned to since birth. Where do you think they got the idea of this from? Ultimately, you make the decision of whether you want to follow God and listen to the angels that's been assigned to you, or you decide to listen to these demonic forces that come as your thoughts, these intrusive thoughts. And when you start to have thoughts like, ooh, I can steal, won't nobody know? Lustful thoughts, gluttful thoughts, thoughts of wrath and anger, or any other low vibrational demonic thoughts, know that it is not you. And when you start to hear them, it's time to start praying. And the more that you pray, these thoughts will get quieter. More of the story, gang, is be mindful of the voices you listen to.
Watch this video and then I'm going to explain what's going on. Some people believe that this is part of Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is basically this huge conspiracy theory that the government is going to fake an alien invasion. / they were going to use artificial intelligence to create a second coming. Basically, they're going to scare us into a new world order. They want a totalitarian world government. This is the dude that brought this whole thing to attention. He was a Canadian investigative journalist that basically found out that NASA and the government were doing this together. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. This video is probably going to get flagged and probably taken down. But with all the supposed UFO sightings, not even this. It's just a little bit.
I've read that it was gonna be fake and all this other stuff. You know, they're gonna have like a dome, and in that dome, everything is basically CGI. But everybody that's underneath that dome is gonna be affected. That way, whenever we see up, the government is just fucking with our heads, guys. But they're really gonna control us somehow with this thing hovering over us.
So what's creepy is that there have been a number of UFO sightings lately. Here comes Project Bluebeam. Basically, an investigative journalist discovered that the government alongside NASA was going to use a bunch of tools and AI to fake an alien invasion. And like a second coming and like scare everyone, and then they're gonna swoop in, save the day, so everyone is like, oh my god, the government, we should totally trust them. They want to do this to form like one unity, like one government. They want absolute control of everyone. What do you guys think though in the comments below? More on this in my next video. Stay tuned.
Funny thing about it, everybody talk about Dr. Sebi and CMOS. I traveled with Dr. Sebi for the last couple of years of his life. He always talked about conscious crispus. He never talked about the CMOS we have in Honduras. He said CMOS is good, but this is gold. This with honey
is something special, right?
Come on. I was walking bone on bone for years. The doctors in New York told me cartilage couldn't grow back. Dr. Sebi saw me walking around Honduras, usher. Everybody else in Honduras thought I was just trying to be cool, walking with a bob.
Yeah, with your bob.
My leg was hurting. But Dr. Sebi said, you got a hiccup in your get-along or something like that.
Oh, man.
And I was like, yeah, I hurt my knee playing ball years ago. I just got used to walking like that. He told me you need some CMOS. That's the first time I ever heard of CMOS. He told me you need some CMOS. I have x-rays to this day of my knee with no cartilage and x-ray with cartilage in the middle.
Right.
Taking that CMOS just changed my life. I'm walking again. I'm balling again. I'm balling again.
What I don't understand is why are we not learning this in America? CMOS. I'm about to, again, do another Google search. But like, this makes me want to leave America. Like, I mean, I used to hoop all day back in the day. Basketball, baseball, sometimes football. But if you can heal an injury, this dude has been injured for like, no telling how long. But we're not taught these things here in America about certain natural fruits, vegetables, whatever the hell you want to call them. There's always seems to be a cure somehow, naturally.
Here's a question. Would you let someone implant a microchip into your hand if you would receive $2,000 a month in return for getting a chip put in your hand? You heard me right. We'll give you universal basic income, basically. 2,000 euros, $2,000 a month if you allow us to put a microchip in your hand. That's exactly what's about to happen as part of the rollout of the central bank digital currencies. It's a carrot for them to rope you into this mess. We'll get to that part of the story in a minute, the chip implantation process, not the corn chip, as Dan said in our chat, but a actual metallic tracking chip. But a new report just published this week by the Bank for International Settlements explains how our new digital money system is about to work. We've been warning you that this was coming for a long time on this show. Also, we weren't the only ones predicting this. It was predicted in a little book, you might have heard of it, called The Bible, The Mark of the Beast. For one thing, this is how this new system would operate. According to them, the Bank for International Settlements, the new reserve currency, forget the dollar as you know it, basically. This will be the new reserve currency, which is how they want to label it and how they are labeling it. This would be used to settle all transactions. As everyone moves away from the U.S. dollar right now, this seems like perfect timing to be moving to this.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, $2,000 a month would cover, all my living expenses and stuff. But still, I mean, I've read my Bible. I don't know about y'all. I am not going to risk my soul over that.
Who wears glasses should listen to this video. So, ultraviolet light is dangerous. This is what they tell us. We should avoid it at all costs. We live in houses with no ultraviolet light. We leave our houses and we put on glasses, contacts, and sunglasses, which block the UV light. We drive in cars that also block the UV light. We work in offices which receive no UV light. Then we turn on lights that have no UV light. And then finally we take a break in the sun and we put on suntan lotion, which blocks the UV light. Then we look at the benefits of UV and we see UV light activates vitamin D. You don't need synthetic, non-absorbing vitamin D supplements. Also helps with lowering blood pressure. Also helps the heart, the arteries, and cholesterol. It also assists in weight loss, which is a $1 trillion industry. Helps with skin conditions and other diseases. And then it also helps to boost melatonin levels so that you can sleep better. 1920 is when everything pretty much changed. They started changing every single thing. They started removing certain parts of the history. They started rewriting the history. 1920s is about that time. Educational system started changing everything. Rockefeller educational system. So if you find books, you want to find books before 1920s. Because if you don't find books before 1920s, you're usually being told a bunch of nonsense. And you look at a lot of the free energy books too, and everything related to the ether, that's before 1920s. The ether was removed from the periodic table after 1908. Every book you look into, it talks about ether and terrestrial magnetism and all of these things. 1908, that was removed off the periodic table. And that was removed so that people would not believe in the ether. They would think it's woo-woo. They would think it's pseudoscience. Those are all terms of the Rockefeller educational system. Coming up with terms to debunk the truth and debunk what we were once connected to. Then when you get rid of ether, you get rid of everything related to the fifth element and the quantum. You get rid of all of that. And then you make up a whole new narrative and you remove all that so that when you can't explain something, you just say, I don't know what it is.
NASA recently discovered something called X points around Earth and also around the sun. These are naturally occurring portals that open and close every single day all around the outside of our planet. The Themis satellite system discovered these portals a few years back, and they've been analyzing and watching them. Some of them create direct pathways to the sun and even to other planets in our solar system. So these are called X points. They exist all around the outside of our planet. They're where magnetic diffusion points hit and cross, like our magnetic fields hit and cross. In some way, combining that crossing of electromagnetic fields with charged particles from the sun opens up a portal. So portals naturally can occur in nature. You don't have to make them artificially. So that's pretty interesting.
They say that the moon has no atmosphere.
That's crazy. That makes me wonder if the show on Netflix, The 100, actually was trying to hint at us about something. I don't know if y'all seen that show. I believe it's like the last season that's available right now on Netflix. Y'all need to watch The 100, man. Like, they go through a green portal themselves. It makes me wonder if that's where the northern lights are in our world.
Then how was the American flag planted on the surface of the moon, fluttering, when there is no presence of air? If we actually did go to the moon, the flag wouldn't be fluttering mid-air. When you have atmosphere, things can float. As you can see, the astronauts, when they jump, they land back because of the presence of excess atmosphere, allowing them to float. And this is further proved by the vacuum experiment. When they create a vacuum and they drop a ball and a feather, both of them land instantaneously at the same time. So why is it that the astronauts are not landing immediately? This is because there is atmosphere present, and it is not the moon. It is just the surface of the Earth.
One of the primary fish that people like to eat is salmon.
Man.
They make a genetically modified version of it. Did you know that? They take this genetically modified version and somehow incidentally combine it in the same waters with the natural salmon. You know what the genetically modified version started doing? You can look this up. It started eating the natural salmon
Awesome rap.
Like, you can look this up. Like, this, I'm not making this up. It's not a video. It's like it really happened. So a lot of the fish you'll see today, you'll notice, like, when fishermen are catching fish now, they're going inside of their mouth, pulling things out. Those are parasites. They're pulling parasites out of the fish mouth. That, and then the third thing I'll tell you is that because the waters are so polluted in the ocean today, but if you do the specific research and say genetically modified salmon, you're gonna see the brand. You know, if you do the research and say mercury in fish, you're gonna see that mercury is very prominent in fish today.
I think that. Dang, all this stuff, man, is just making me want to go hunting and fishing for myself and just make my own food. Like, there's no telling what we're buying.
Hey, Auntie Bev here. If you live in the South, you undoubtedly recognize these as hush puppies. Well, did you know that hush puppies have a unique tie to slavery?
Yeah, I know.
According to some research, I found that the slaves would use hush puppies on the trail as they were running away.
Keep them dogs quiet.
It was a distraction for the bloodhounds who were trying to track them down. It would be to hush the puppies. Who knew? Well, I think I know, and now you know. It's amazing what you learn when you do research. Auntie Bev speaks during Black History Month.
Dang, that's my first time hearing about hush puppies. I used to eat them hoes all the time. It's been a minute since I had any, but wow. That's some good history right there.
Heard you've done some horrible things.
Yes, we do. We own a controlling stake in evil and then occasionally make foodstuffs.
What happened?
We weren't selling as much baby formula in the West as we wanted to anymore, so we started targeting Africa and giving new mothers free samples.
Giving away free formula sounds nice. How did you make it evil?
We had people dress up like nurses and hand the mothers with the free formula, making them think, oh, this is doctor recommended, but it totally wasn't. And the cool thing about breast milk is it's kind of a use it or lose it type thing. So because they weren't using it, their breast milk dried up and then because we liked it.
The hell did you do?
They said Nestle also build hospitals in Africa.
Hey, Boeing, what do you make right now?
We make problems go away.
Okay, what are you doing?
Oh, you know, just reloading.
For what?
That depends. Do you have any sassy comments or probing questions today?
Nah, nothing, nope, nothing today.
Huh,
Hey.
what a totally random happenstance.
I like his videos. He exposing a lot.
Writer, the composer, but comedians do both, but we only pay them half. Ha! Get played, nerd.
Okay, that's kind of a Richard relocation, but at least it's not.
Then we filed a patent for technology that can listen into you through your devices, figure out your emotional state through your tone of voice so that we can better advertise to you.
So you read 1984 and your takeaway was, what a business model.
Then our CEO invested $113 million in Helsing AI. Their whole thing is to use AI to help bolster defense for democracy. People in the South Korean government.
See, guys, beware of the bigger companies. Remember, guys, just because it's better than everything else doesn't mean it's the safest.
Video.
Internet is blowing up after Hollywood gets exposed yet again when popular YouTubers Bradley Martin and Vitaly catch the 76-year-old producer of the movie Space Jam meeting up with a minor.
What's your name? What's your name? Who are you? What's your name? Who are you? Why are you suing my fucking daughter? What's your name? What is your name?
Boris. My name is Boris.
Boris, what's your name? Shake my hand.
What's the problem?
You gonna do it. Why are you suing my daughter? You know how old she is?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
No idea.
You have no idea.
No.
What the f you thought was gonna happen here?
Nothing. We're gonna have a pizza.
You know how old she is?
I matched with her. She was 23.
23. Is that what the conversation looked like?
You remember the text messages? She was 23 on a
23.
dating site.
Lila, how old are you?
15. I'm sorry.
Piece of pizza with a 15-year-old.
It's not against the law.
You think that's okay?
I think it's not against the law.
It's not against the law.
Yeah, we've been talking and flirting. It's not a big deal.
So you're trying to meet a 15-year-old. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a boy. It's a girl.
Whoa.
Yeah, you are.
Join me on Discord to talk about it.
Bill Gates always doing something.
Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth. It's called solar geoengineering, and it's highly controversial.
How long will it be that countries keep experiencing these climate impacts before someone gets desperate and says, hey, we need to cool the planet with solar geoengineering?
It would look something like this. Thousands of planes would fly very high and use nozzles to inject millions of tons of light-reflecting particles into the stratosphere. It would create a thin chemical cloud of those particles around the whole planet, blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface. It would mimic a giant volcanic eruption, which we know cools the Earth.
Alright guys, that's it for the video. If y'all enjoyed this video, or if y'all have any more information about this video, please leave your comments and thoughts below. And until then, it's your boy Indiana Jones with another discovery, guys.